Welcome back to the channel. I'm in beautiful Greenwood, BC. That's the van. This is where I slept last night. And that is right next to 100-plus-year-old smokestack. Towering high above historic Greenwood, BC. This smokestack from a copper smelter defines the skyline. Built in 1901, some 120-plus years ago, it stands as a beautiful reminder of Greenwood's historic past. With the discovery of gold, silver, and copper here in 1891, Greenwood would soon become a bustling city in 1897, which led to this smelter being opened and making Greenwood one of BC's busiest places, a true boom town. But we do know that all booms go bust, and that's exactly what happened here. With a drop in copper prices and demand, this plant was closed down, the population declined, leaving behind a city that was a shell of its former self. But to this day, this tower does stand tall as a powerful reminder of Greenwood's historic past. Just for the record, I did not put that hole in the fence, nor do I recommend going in the fence. But here we are. And we are going inside. This is pretty cool. Honestly, I do not know how a smelter works. And then we got this huge, I'll call it a chute for lack of a better word. And then you can see down there, there's a huge, what I would call a slag pile. I don't know if that's technically the right term. But yeah, this is a cool spot. Like I said, it's over 100 years old. It was built around the turn of last century in the 1900s. So you can see there's damage up there. It's starting to fall apart. All the bricks are down there. But this thing itself seems to be in pretty decent shape. But anyways, I think I'm gonna fly the drone, and I'll talk more about the history as I do that. But this is just a cool spot, interesting place to spend the night. So yeah, Greenwood, BC. I'm gonna go into town. We get some breakfast and see what there is to see, do what there is to do. You know the drill. We're now downtown at the Copper Eagle Cappuccino and Bakery for breakfast and a chai latte. This place came highly recommended, especially for its baked goods, which I did not try, but I did have an omelet and some toast. It was tasty, and this place was definitely a good way to start my day. Well, I'm fresh out of the Copper Eagle at the saloon, established 1899. Unfortunately, it's all closed, which is a real shame. But I think we're gonna go explore downtown. Well, we are gonna explore downtown. It all has a real old-timey charm because it was all done and built in the 1900s. Pretty cool spot, and there is some railway history here. So we're actually gonna move through downtown. I will go up to the far end of town to what is called the Tunnel of Flags. It's an old train tunnel. And then we're gonna start a bike ride and we're gonna go out of town on the bike. But I just wanted to admire the downtown first. The city of Greenwood is full of old buildings and interesting things. Self-described as Canada's smallest city, a title it holds because it was incorporated as a city in boom time. And once you have the title, they can never take the title away. Once a champ, always a champ. Hell of a post office. We're just walking around with our chai latte to go, and we're exploring all the historic buildings. I seen a church down here the other day. I think I might go check it out, but I didn't really know this post office was here, so you know, you never know what you're gonna find until you go looking. I think the post office clock is now dinging at me at the top of the hour. Kind of cool, but I wish I was there to film it. There's so many different things to see here in Greenwood. From bits of mining history just laying around, to beautiful nature, this place has it all. From the weird to the wonderful, you'll definitely find everything here. Some of the highlights being the absolute randomness of this antique toaster collection and St. Jude's Church. We're at St. Jude's Church. This is a 122-year-old church. Pretty cool. I thought it was totally out of service or whatever, but there's actually a guy in there that came out to talk to me. Scared me, but I guess there's something going on. A lot of the really old churches here in BC got burned down due to relations with like the First Nations people and some of the history. So it's kind of cool to see an old church, that old at least, but yeah, moving on. Some of these older buildings are not as nice as the others, but this place really does show its age, but it's really cool, historical, just interesting looking. So I checked out a couple more sites in downtown, and then it's back to the van to continue this adventure. So I've moved on to the outskirts of town. Across the street here, I'm gonna start a bike ride, but first, we're gonna go check out the Tunnel of Flags, which is just in front of me. It's an old historic train tunnel, and I think it's pretty cool. So we're gonna look at it. That's pretty cool. Obviously not much to it. It's just a big tunnel with a graffiti and a fire pit. Pretty cool little spot, but it's just something to pass by before I start my bicycle ride. Okay, we are headed across the road here. By road, I mean highway. So we gotta wait a minute. Okay, we'll run. Okay. Yeah. Oh, already off the bike. So we're pushing. Oh yeah, I walked up the hill, and I just thought I'd point out that I'm crossing over a creek, and it looks pretty nice, especially with the fall colors. And I think this maybe was the original path of the railway. But with that being said, I'm gonna head down here. I got 10K to Boundary Falls, which is where I'm headed. It is a falls. It's also a name of a town, but I am in search of the falls itself. So with that being said, we're gonna get going. This rail trail was once the Columbia and Western Railway. I actually rode a section of this same trail in my last video about Christina Lake, which I highly recommend checking out. That was a more scenic section, That's not to diminish this one. This whole section actually links Castlegar to Midway, Midway being just southwest of here, and the spot where the Columbia Western meets up with the Kettle Valley Railway.
Oh, bit of an emergency. I think that's the road I camped up yesterday. So that means I've probably halfway to my goal. Ripped through town pretty quick. This trail is nice and flat and rocks are small, pretty smooth rolling. Can't complain. Beautiful trees, beautiful day, beautiful life. Oh man. Well, I'm just crossing this bridge here, and you can see the slag pile right next to the river, but it looks like rock from here, but like on top it looks more like crushed rock, but from here it looks solid. So I don't know if we're gonna get a little bit closer, but it is on the other side of the river, so I doubt it. But yeah, pretty interesting. It's crazy because it's been over 100 years since that smelter has been in use, and still to this day in 2023 it's just a giant pile of waste that's just like sitting there as a scar on the landscape. But you know, I guess you make it a historic thing and it's not so bad, but it's kind of a big old black pile of shit.
This slag pile is absolutely huge. It's a great way to visualize just how much copper came out of this place. The amount of material sitting here is astonishing. Slag is a byproduct created during copper production, and after smelting, it was carted down by rail and dumped into this location. You can actually see the shape of the buckets sitting on top of the pile in the famous Hell's Bells shapes that you can see. And when you see the size of those Hell's Bells compared to the pile, it's truly amazing to think about just how many of those buckets have been piled here. When this smelter was running full blast, the pile would have glowed red at night, which would have been a real sight to behold. It still is a sight to behold. The size of this place is truly something. Onwards.
I just passed a sign that said Boundary Falls and gave me a kilometer marking. I don't really know exactly what the kilometers mark, but I'm in Boundary Falls. I think I'm getting pretty close to the falls itself, but we're gonna have to cross the highway to get there. So I don't really know what else to say other than we are getting close. That's another slag pile. Oh. So I just pulled up to this little, I guess I'll call it a rain shelter. It's got a nice picnic table in here. If I brought my bike lock, I would lock my bike up here, because we're gonna head just across the street and work our way down to the waterfalls themselves. It will probably be a little bit of route finding mission, but it will not be hard. Spoiler alert, I've been here yesterday. And yeah, that's a nice van. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna cross the street here. I'll take my bike with me because I did not bring my lock, which was stupid. But yeah, I think I'll take a little quick break here, have a snack, and who knows what else. And then we'll cross over, we'll go look at the falls, and we will enjoy ourselves. Okay, we are just into the woods here. Hopefully I find a decent spot I can lay my bike down, and we'll just go strictly on feet. But I got a couple cameras on here, obviously. And I don't necessarily want to leave it anywhere. Okay, we are headed down on foot. Like I said, I'm not exactly 100% sure where I'm going, but there's a lot of little pathways here. They all sort of lead somewhere in the general direction, so I just figured out as we go. Well, that is pretty sweet. It's Boundary Falls, in Boundary Falls. We're on a bit of a sketchy cliff. Not too sketchy though, but just a beautiful little falls. I say little, but it's decent size. And you can actually see, I don't know exactly what that is, but I think there used to be some sort of pathway. Maybe it's something to do with mining or something, not really sure. But the remnants of it, pretty cool. Heck of a hole that the water's dug. And a beautiful little valley on the way out. That's just a pretty good little ride, about 10K. Beautiful destination, beautiful ride. What a good day. But with that being said, I am gonna head back up to Greenwood and I'm gonna grab something to eat. I believe there's a taco stand that today should be the final day it's open for the rest of the season. So I think I'll just meet you there. So this place is literally closed. I was the last person they served. Run out of ingredients. Last day of the season. I got 3 beef tacos with each one of their different salsas. You got regular salsa, green salsa, and habanero pineapple salsa, and potato flauta, which I've never had. That's why I got it. I thought I would try it. Deep fried potato. Well, we're just gonna pound these back, eat the tacos, and then that'll be the end of this trip. Hot habanero pineapple. Dipping a little sweet, not that hot. It's good. Now we're doing the potato flauta, a deep fried potato. Well, that was absolutely delicious. I don't really know what more needs to be said, so that's it. That's the end of this episode. Greenwood van life. Peace.